This is our group presentation for audit quality. Before we start our presentation, let me introduce our group members. Firstly, me myself Muhammad Mustafa. Next is Cik Muhammad Khairul Anwar, and lastly Muhammad Daniel Asfar. Introduction to audit quality. Nowadays, audit quality has been addressed and is being discussed globally throughout years. This is because some of the cases related to audit quality, for example, the Enron Corporation and WorldCom case, where they have affected the reputation of audit profession. Audit independence is clearly a problem when an audit is performed that may affect the quality of an audit. Hence, all these corporation scandals have affected the reputation of the audit profession, and audit quality is being questioned strongly. Credibility of auditors also has been more and more questionable as the auditors' function in identifying mistakes and fraud is debated by the public. So, the question is, what is audit quality? Audit quality is a system that relates to the concept of professional competence and the meeting of professional standards, technical and ethical views. According to D'Angelo, audit quality is viewed as the joint probability of detecting and reporting material misstatements. Audit quality is achieved when a certain audit activity is carried out in line with the generally accepted auditing standard, GAAP. Audit quality is essential in order for audit failure and audit risks are reduced to an acceptable low level. Audit quality also helps auditors to highlight and detect any material breach in the client's financial statement, and he would subsequently report it to the related authority. In Malaysia, small and medium-sized audit firms are often thought to be the majority of auditors used by small and medium-sized enterprises due to the lack of mechanism and expertise to deal with the audit risk. Due to the case of 1MDB, the Malaysian Institute of Accountants (MIA) introduced the International Quality Control Standards 1 (ISQC1) as part of Malaysia's approved audit standard in 2006. ISQC1 implementation is limited for SME because SME tend to function based on non-standard operating procedures. Complying with ISQC1 implementation is a significant obstacle for small and medium audit practitioners due to audits evident from SME, but it enables small and medium audit firms to attain accountability and integrity, enhance activities, and instill confidence among people and stakeholders.
Bailey and Crumlin on 2005 state that there are several possible measurements of audit quality available in practice and in the literature. This set of research include two parts, which are direct measure and indirect measure. For direct measure, financial reporting, compliance with GAAP, quality control review, bankruptcy, debt review, and SSC performance are used as a measure of audit quality. For example, Krishnan and Scour on 2000 found compliance with reporting requirements by non-profit entities increased with increasing firm size. Most of the research on audit tenure use issuing going concern opinion and bankruptcy as a measure for audit quality. Besides that, Geiger and Raghunandan on 2002 measure audit quality as whether the auditor had issued a going concern qualification in the prior year of the US client that declared bankruptcy. They found that auditors are less likely to issue a going concern opinion during the initial year of engagement, but not in the later year, contrary to the expressed concern that a long auditor-client relationship negatively affect the audit quality. In indirect measure, audit size, auditor tenure, industry expertise, audit fee, economic dependence, reputation, and cost of capital are used as a measure for audit quality. But perhaps the most used indirect measure of audit quality is audit size. Based on the theory advanced by D'Angelo on 1981, proposed that the size of an audit firm is an indicator of audit quality because larger firms have more equipment. Next, using audit fee as a measure of audit quality, based on Dufont and Zahn on 2014, highlighted that audit fees are used as a proxy for audit quality because they are expected to measure the auditor efforts, which is an input to the audit process that is intuitively related to audit quality. However, auditors cannot unilaterally charge higher fee for additional effort unless there is a corresponding increase in client demand for the additional effort. As a result, audit fees are the outcome of both supply and demand factors of audit quality. Why audit quality is important? The first reason is it can restore and enhance the stakeholder confidence, such as creditor. Audit quality is important for creditor since they make their lending decision when they overview the audited financial statement of their client. For example, if a company audit quality is below their benchmark for extending loan or credit facility to their clients, or when a company receives a qualified audit opinion, this unequivocally represents that the company is unable to perform effectively and will not be able to avoid the problem of liquidity crisis or working capital challenge that will seriously affect their ability to pay back the debt timely. Second, audit quality can reduce the risk and material misstatement. Audit assurance is supposed to decrease the risk of internal control and misstatement, then decrease the possibility of business failure. For the information of user outside the organization, the assurance will reduce the risk of information asymmetry by optimizing the allocation of resources, thus improving the efficiency of capital market. Next is to lower the debt capital. From the studies, we've seen that audit quality has been found to have a relationship with the cost of debt capital. With higher audit quality leads to a lower cost of debt capital. This is because audit quality will lead to credibility financial report that increase the investor confidence and decrease the dependency of debt solely. Lastly, audit quality can make sure reports are compliant with the regulation and standard. There are various accounting and auditing standards introduced by regulator such as IAASB in order to make sure the opinion issued by auditor is true and fair. So, we can conclude that the high quality audit report is the report that follow the regulation and standard set up by the regulator. In this slide, we will discuss regarding the audit quality indicators. First, we have the framework for audit quality that issued by IAASB on 2014. It states that audit quality encompasses 5 key elements that create an environment which maximizes the likelihood that quality audits are performed on a consistent basis. First is input, which are value and attitude of auditor and their knowledge, skill, and experience. Then, process, including the audit process and quality control procedure. Output, which are the report that prepared and presented. Next, key interaction between the stakeholder within the financial reporting supply chain. And lastly, contact factor that regarding law and regulation and corporate governance, which could impact on the nature and quality of financial reporting and audit quality. With a similar view, the Public Company Accounting Oversight Board issued the concept release on audit quality indicators, revealing 28 potential indicators of audit quality that fall into 3 groups, which is the audit professional, including measure dealing with the availability, competence, and focus of those performing the audit. Second, the audit process that include measure about an audit firm tone at the top and leadership. Lastly, the audit result, including financial statement, internal control, point concern, communication between auditors, and audit committee. And lastly, we have the audit quality indicators released in January 2016 by the Center for Audit Quality that also provide insight on a potential set of audit quality indicators that fall into 4 key areas. First, firm leadership and tone at the top. Second, engagement team knowledge, experience, and workload. Third is monitoring, and lastly is auditor reporting.
If the audit committee is very important, how to enhance or maintain audit quality? So this is some of the way to maintain or enhance audit quality. So the first way is top management need to support on audit process where the management or the client need to prepare or give sufficient audit evidence to their auditor. So the next way is auditor need to have better experience and knowledge where this experience and knowledge can prevent auditor to make a mistake and not be able to detect any material misstatement. So the next way is auditor need to have high accountability in completing their audit work. This accountability can motivate the auditor to perform a better audit work and also prepare an high audit quality. So the fourth way is auditors always need to have professional skepticism. It is important for auditor to have professional judgment towards any evidence prepared by client, which is not fully accepted all the evidence gifted by the client. So the last way is firm need to change their auditor regularly, which is make a rotation for their auditor. So that's all. There are two cases related to audit quality. So the first one is Tesco and PricewaterhouseCoopers, which is PwC, where the independence of the external auditor of Tesco, which is PwC, are doubted. This is because the long-term relationship between PwC and Tesco. PwC has audited Tesco for more than 30 years. So this is the reason why the independence of PwC will be doubted. So the next case is 1MDB and Deloitte, which is people ask whether Deloitte hiding 1MDB's insolvency. This also because of relationship or interest of conflict of interest between Deloitte and 1MDB. So we conclude from these two cases, the audit quality performed by the external auditor can be related to the relationship between client and the external auditor, which is the more stronger their bond, the more stronger or the higher possibility of the audit quality will be performed low. So that's all.
In conclusion, due to the importance of having high-quality audit, more research should explore other areas that relate to audit quality, such as customer service satisfaction, customer loyalty, auditor switching, and auditor turnover. The presence of the indicators or factors make it all the more important to improve audit quality by keeping a check on them. Audit quality playing an important part in the management in order to improve the stakeholder confidence in the company. So that's all for our presenting regarding audit quality. Thank you for listening.